I wanted to write this article about OJ Simpson and his passing after a long battle with cancer, and I wanted to talk about his impact on American society. I think that he's an American tragedy story. For someone to reach such heights, whether it be in fame, whether it be his football career, and just general respect from the American public, for him to fall so far down off Mount Grace and to be seen nothing more than a punchline as a murderer, even though he was acquitted. And I think there is so much more that we need to learn about ourselves as a country when it came to the OJ Simpson trial situation. We learned that the news coverage surrounding OJ was just as bloodthirsty as we are. It's supply and demand. What they were offering us was confirmation bias. What they were offering us was a way to inject ourselves emotionally into a distant story that we have nothing to do with. What they had to offer us was the worst of American society. And now what we're seeing today is much of a reflection of the OJ Simpson trial. We have 24-hour news coverage of ambiguously racial situations to stem racial animosity between the races. Despite if you go outside and interact with people, your life is pretty good. But it's the manipulation that happened and really flourished under the OJ Simpson trial. And of course, OJ Simpson played to it. He's a man that stated that he wanted to be judged by the content of his character, but he didn't have much character to offer as he's standing there trying to defend himself after they show images of his ex-wife's body, after they show images of her being beaten and bruised because he was a batterer. Where is his character then? So of course, he had to lean on race. His entire defense team bought into it, and he played the American public. He played the emotions of Americans. He played the race card because it benefited him. He exploited our greatest weakness as a country, the area that we were sensitive to, and especially at that time, he exploited the reaction to the Rodney King debacle. Yet here he is. He was free. He got away with it. And all because we were insecure, all because we saw something within this case that didn't need to be seen. We saw everybody else except for the families of the people who were killed. We saw everybody else except for the people who were actually killed, who suffered at the hands of OJ Simpson. We saw everything else, but what actually mattered was justice. And while it was inconvenient to highlight that, yes, he was a Black man, and yes, he likely, heavily likely killed his wife and Ron Goldman, we should go towards the truth and justice. But instead, many of us, we chose our bias. We chose what felt good. We chose revenge. And we did this on cold bodies. I think there's something wrong with our society when we start leaning towards what feels good rather than what is true. And I think the OJ Simpson trial, OJ Simpson, his lawyers, everyone who was involved played us. And in many ways, they showed us what we really are.